When the hospital discovered the body, nobody expected what surveillance would reveal. In the dim light of Tower 3's 8th floor, under peeling paint and flickering fluorescent tubes, a decomposed form lay undisturbed. 4 days, no one noticed. Weeks earlier, a patient vanished. No footsteps in the corridors. No sign of struggle. Only one security tape glitched. Something had gone horribly wrong inside a place meant to heal. If stories like this haunt you as much as they fascinate you, make sure to subscribe to Cold Case Secrets, where we uncover the darkest truths behind the world's most chilling mysteries. This is the story of Sunitha, a 41-year-old woman from West Tambaram, India. Admitted to the Rajiv Gandhi Government Hospital in Chennai in May 2021, she was there battling COVID-19. Her husband, Mouli, a quiet and devoted college lecturer, prayed she'd recover soon. Instead, he was about to wake into a nightmare no one should ever face. The city of Chennai in May 2021 was tense. Ambulances screamed through empty streets. Hospitals were overflowing. Nurses worked double shifts. Families waited outside, begging for updates that rarely came. Inside the hospital's isolation ward, beneath the hum of oxygen tanks and muffled sobs, Sunitha rested quietly. She wasn't wealthy, but she was strongly hopeful. And she trusted that being in a government hospital meant safety. But safety, as this story would prove, was an illusion. Sunitha was admitted on May 21, 2021. She was placed on the COVID-19 isolation floor, monitored by rotating staff and contract workers. 2 days later she was gone. Her bed was empty. No discharge paperwork. No transfer notice. No witnesses. Her husband Mouli received a call from a hospital on May 23rd. They couldn't locate her. He thought it had to be a mistake. How could someone disappear inside a locked ward under quarantine? The hospital began a limited internal search. But the corridors were sprawling, the staff overworked, and the CCTV footage was said to be under review. Still, something felt off. The family begged for updates. The hospital remained silent. By May 31st, 8 days later, Mouli filed an official missing person report. That's when detectives from the Chennai Police Crime Branch stepped in. They began combing through surveillance footage from the hospital's Tower 3 where Sunitha had last been seen. And that's when the first clue appeared. A woman in a hospital uniform, later identified as Rati Devi, a 42-year-old contract sanitation worker, was captured on video wheeling Sunitha out of her room around 12:30 a.m. She appeared calm, purposeful. She told night staff she was taking the patient for a scan. No one questioned her. The footage shows them entering a service elevator, the emergency lift at the far end of the corridor. Then, nothing. No footage from the 8th floor. No return trip recorded. No record of the patient ever coming back. Hours turned into days. The smell of disinfectant filled the halls, masking something darker. On June 8th, 15 days after Sunitha's disappearance, workers on the 8th floor of an unused COVID-19 storage area noticed a foul odor. Maintenance staff traced it to a locked supply room. When the door was forced open, they froze. A body lay in the corner, decomposed beyond recognition, wrapped in remnants of hospital bedding. The identification came from clothing and personal items: a gold ring, a small handbag, and fragments of hospital tags. It was Sunitha. The post-mortem was grim. Cause of death: strangulation. Her phone and about 9,500 rupees were missing. Police moved quickly. They arrested Rati Devi within 24 hours. The official charge: murder and theft. At first, the motive seemed simple: theft for money. But as investigators dug deeper, more disturbing details emerged. The hospital's internal security logs revealed glaring gaps. The emergency lift Rati Devi used had no CCTV camera. The main camera feed covering that section glitched around the same time frame skipped, timestamps mismatched. Technicians later admitted the system's footage automatically overwrote itself every 30 days, erasing possible secondary evidence. And that 8th floor? It had been sealed months prior for renovation. No one should have had access to it. Yet Rati Devi did. Investigators discovered she'd been working there unofficially, assigned to miscellaneous cleaning. But some of her shift logs were missing and replaced with handwritten notes by another supervisor. There were whispers among staff that she wasn't the only one involved. Someone, they claimed, had told her which routes were least monitored. But when police pressed, those same staff went silent. During interrogation, Rati Devi confessed, partially claiming she only wanted to steal the patient's phone and cash. She said Sunitha panicked, and that the killing wasn't intentional. But detectives weren't convinced. The 8th floor was far from the patient ward, so she had to know where she was taking her. A senior investigator later told local media, this wasn't an accident. It was calculated. She chose that floor for a reason because nobody ever goes there. Then came the shocking detail. Another patient had disappeared from the same hospital a month earlier, though that case was dismissed as a recording error. The man was later found alive, but drugged and confused in a different tower of the same building. It raised chilling questions. Was this hospital truly safe? Or had something darker been happening behind those locked isolation doors? Rati Devi was charged with murder under Section 302 of the Indian Penal Code and theft under Section 379. She was placed in judicial custody awaiting trial. The hospital's internal inquiry found gross negligence in ward supervision and security coverage. Several officers were suspended. But for Sunitha's family, the damage was irreversible. Mouli, her husband, refused compensation. He said, money cannot replace what was taken. She trusted them and they left her to die. Outside the hospital, candlelight vigils were held. People demanded safer hospital surveillance, mandatory ID checks for contract workers, and protection for vulnerable patients. In the following months, the government installed new cameras, hired trained guards, and promised it would never happen again. But trust, once broken, doesn't heal so easily. Hospitals are places of hope where people cling to life, to science, to strangers in scrubs. But behind the walls of this one, a silent crime unfolded. A woman walked in to heal, and never walked out. A contract worker used that same trust to betray everything those walls stood for. This case is more than a story of one woman's murder. It's a story about the cracks in systems we believe are unbreakable and how sometimes evil doesn't hide in dark alleys. It hides in daylight, wearing a uniform. But what if Rati Devi didn't act alone? Rumors persist of deleted logs, hidden camera feeds, and a maintenance report from the emergency lift that was quietly sealed after her arrest. Some investigators believe that report could prove that someone higher up tampered with the security footage, erasing what really happened between the 2nd and 8th floors. In Part 2, we'll dig into those missing files, and what one night shift guard claimed he saw after the cameras went dark. If this story shook you, don't forget to subscribe to Cold Case Secrets, where we uncover the truth behind the world's darkest mysteries. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter, because this case isn't over. Thank you for watching Cold Case Secrets.